Next, we're going to learn how to create a query. And all a query is asking the database a question. It's the thing that makes it so cool is the fact that you can pull information out very, very quickly. So much faster than if you had a file drawer and had to start digging for specific information. So if you look on page 40, number 1, it says be sure the customer table is selected. So I'm going to click on the customer table. All I have to do is click on it one time. And they want us to create or click on the Query Wizard button. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Create. And notice down at the bottom it has templates, tables, queries. That's what we're going to do. A query is another word for a question. And the book wants us to use a Query Wizard. So we're going to click on the Query Wizard. The cool thing about the Query Wizard is that it does all of the work for you. You really all you have to do is answer some questions. So simple Query Wizard is what we have selected. We click on OK. And then even from here, if we had not clicked on our customer table here, we would also have the opportunity to choose from here. So notice our book rep table and our customer table shows. In the future, you'll have forms, reports, queries, all that stuff. Everything will show there for you to choose from. So even if you don't select it here, you still will be able to choose it from here. Alright, now it wants us to use specific fields. This button here moves over one field at a time, only the field that is selected. Notice I can click on my fields. This button here moves them all over. So, and when we're looking in the book, it says to click on the customer number field first, and then click on the add field. That's the single one. And then it says click on the customer name field, and that's already selected, and we do add. And then the amount paid. So we're going to slide down here to amount paid, and we'll click on the add button. And notice that it keeps adding it down to the bottom. Alright. And then it says, in a similar fashion, add current due, returns, and book rep number. So we're going to ask a question, and the answer is going to have all of these fields in the question or in the answer. Alright, so now we choose next. And it says, do you want a detail or a summary report? And we want a detail report, so we choose next. And on page 42, it says make sure that the name is customer query, and it is. And then it says open the query to view information, and that's the button you want selected. So click on finish. And now it tells us, notice that customer query, we get a new section. It's called customer query, is the table that we have here now, and it has only the fields that we requested from the customer table, and it has it all listed. Very nice, very quick, and it's easy. You don't have the information you don't need. So if your accountant needed information, they didn't need the address and everything else. There's no sense putting all of that on a report for them. But here, very quickly, you can give them everything they need to know about the customers. Alright, so from there we're going to hit close. And notice that it is still there, so we can still open it at any time. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, now on 43, it's going to let us use specific criteria for our queries. So now we're going to come to our customer query, and we are going to right click on that query, and this time we're going to choose design view. Now from design view we have a lot more options that we can choose. We can say that we want specific numbers, specific ranges, anything that you need to know about this information. If it's contained in this query, it will find only the stuff that it needs from there. So in this case, number 3 says tap on the criteria row for book rep number. So we're going to go to book rep number, and that is here. Now over here to the side you see field, table, sort, show, criteria. it wants us to click on the criteria row under book rep number. Now, I know that it's right here, but if that bothers you, that it's so far away, you can grab this box on the horizontal slider and you can move it until this is right lined up next to it. Okay? And or at least closer. I'm going to do it this way. It's faster. Too fast. Okay? So there's the criteria row. Now everything is still there. Alright? But if you're having trouble lining up, the criteria row is right underneath this checkbox, which is the show box. Okay? So it wants us to show only client number 53. So now we're going to click on the Run button, and that's this exclamation point up here under the Results section. Click on Run. And now we see everybody who has the book rep number 53. So all of these people have book rep number 53. Now, in this case, they want us to close, and they do not want us to save. I know, it's so sad. Alright, but you learned something cool. Alright, so now it says to print the results on page 45. Now remember, we're going to print it as a PDF or an XPS. So, number 1, under print the results on page 45, with the customer query selected, we're going to go to File, and then we're going to click on Print. And then we are going to print and choose either Adobe PDF or an XPS, either one, and say OK. Now this time this window popped up immediately for me. Remember last time mine showed up down here. So if you have a blinking box down here, that means it needs you to click on it there. Now we want to save this as page 45, first, last, underscore page 45. So our last name first, D underscore page 45. Alright. And now it's going to show us, and isn't that amazing? Say yay. And then you can close it. Alright, now it says select the customer query and then click create. So now we're going to go to create, turn the page. Page 46 says click on the form button. So once again, templates, tables, queries, forms. So even if you don't know anything about Access, it's really pretty easy to find things. So it says click on the form button. So we're going to click on the form. And there it is. You had to do nothing but click on a button. Isn't that awesome? So this is our form. Then it says click on the form view. So we'll click here, and that's where the first one, form view. Now from form view, you just can punch through. So here notice we have 15 records, and I can go to the next record, I can go to the last record, first record. I can even add a new record from here. And a lot of times if you're creating a database that's to be used by other people, you really would prefer them to enter the new information from here if they're typing it all in. That way they don't accidentally mess up any of your other information. Notice that when we first started this, it started out in layout view. From layout view, you can change the way everything is set up here. Move it all around. You can make a big mess, or you can make something really nice. So for entering in information, form view is where you need to be. Okay, so now it says we want to go to record 4. So we're going to go to record 4. We're going to click on next record 1, 2, 3, and 4. Camellia State University. And it shows us the number, it shows us all the information, and life is great. It's so exciting. And we're going to hit save. Awesome. save as, and it wants us to save as customer form. Okay? And then say OK. And then close it. On page 47 at the bottom it says break point. So we'll take a break so our movie is not too big and it's easier to find. See you in a second.